Juvenile Hall wanted to know why you're videotaping their building.
Just gathering content for a little story I'm working on.
Santa Maria Police Department. Today's date is 1/23 of 2017. The time is 16:13 hours. Are you getting that?
Who are you? Who do you work for? What are you doing up here recording? Sir, out loud.
Started peace, sir. You started data or operation of business. That is a crime stock law. That's called breach of peace. I need your right.
Public is a constitutional right, but what happens when law enforcement doesn't respect it? At the Susan J. Gianfredo Juvenile Justice Center, a journalist exercising his First Amendment rights is confronted, detained, and pressured to provide ID without any crime committed. This encounter turns into a heated standoff over power and the law. Will justice prevail? Stay tuned.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Great, thank you.
So Juvenile Hall wanted to know why you're videotaping their building.
Just gathering content for a little story I'm working on.
Okay. Is it for like school or something?
I have a blog and such.
Okay. Do you have ID on you?
I prefer not to identify.
Okay, I'd like to see it. You're required by law to give me your ID.
Actually, unless I've been suspected of committing a crime, I'm not required to.
You're filming a government building.
From a public sidewalk,
Right, that's
which is
fine.
perfectly legal.
Right. I have the right to detain you, okay? And you're required to identify yourself.
Well,
You're not being charged with anything.
I
You're not
understand that.
innocent.
I understand that, officer, but I do understand California law. Unless you have reasonable suspicion that I've actually committed a crime,
Okay.
filming a government building from a public sidewalk, which is protected by the First Amendment, is not a crime.
No, but I have the right to detain you to figure out what's going on, okay?
Okay.
You're addressed in all BDUs, you got a video camera, 2 video cameras, okay?
Okay.
And Juvenile Hall is concerned, okay? If no crime is committed, then no big deal, okay? But I do have the right to identify you. You are required to give me your ID.
No, I'm not. Unless you have reasonable suspicion that I've actually committed a crime, I'm not required to identify myself.
Yes,
No, I'm
You're
not.
being detained.
Okay, officer, what am I being detained for?
For suspicion of why you're dressed and acting all weird in front of Juvenile Hall.
Well, suspicion is not a crime.
Right, it's not probable cause. It's reasonable suspicion to detain you to investigate what's going on.
Okay, and I just told you what's going on. Well, officer, at this point, I'd like to speak to a supervisor, so I would ask that you call a sergeant out here.
Absolutely. Item 53, is there a field sergeant able to respond?
How you doing, dude?
Hi, how you doing, sir?
Good. What's going on today?
Just gathering content for a little story.
For what?
Just gathering content, like B-roll, for a little story I'm doing.
Cool. What's the story on?
It's just for a blog I write.
What's the blog about?
I'd rather not say it this time, because it's not published yet, so, just getting some B-roll.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, but you understand why we came out here?
I understand.
Okay. Do you think it's a little weird that you're out here filming Juvenile Hall?
Okay. Well, I've been on the public sidewalk the whole time.
No, that's
I
fine.
haven't gone
Not
on
saying-
any
not saying
restricted
anything
areas.
wrong with that,
Okay.
but we just want to make sure that you're not coming out here trying to snoop around and do something, because people tend to do reconnaissance, you know?
Yeah.
You want to talk to the sergeant, I take it?
Yeah, because like the other officer, she asked for my ID. I respectfully declined because, I know what my rights are. Unless there's reasonable suspicion that a crime has actually been committed, I'm not required to identify myself. So the other officer here is suggesting that she has the right to ID me. I'm saying no. So at this point, I think it would be best to have a supervisor come out and we can clarify all this.
That's fine.
Okay.
Whatever. Make it easy that way.
So just to clarify, I am being legally detained. I'm not free to leave.
As far as I know, you haven't done anything criminal. We just asked who you were.
Okay.
That's all.
The other officer here said that I was being detained. So,
I think it's suspicious that you're out here filming a Juvenile Hall.
okay.
Yeah, I was detaining you to find out who you are.
Oh, so I am being detained.
I am detaining you.
I'm not free to leave then. Okay. All right.
I'm not accusing you of any crime or anything. I'm just trying to figure
Okay. And like I said, I understand that. You got to call for service. You have to come out and investigate. I explained to you what I was doing, but, you know, and you've even admitted that I'm not doing anything wrong. There's no crime being committed. Then I really don't understand why I'm being detained then.
Do you want to speak to our sergeant?
If I'm being detained, yes.
Sergeant Lara, Santa Maria Police Department. Today's date is 1/23 of 2017. The time is 16:13 hours. Are you getting that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. I want it stamped too, okay?
Okay.
How can we help you?
Nothing. I just, your officers made contact with me. I explained to them I'm
Okay.
gathering content for a little story I'm doing.
Alrighty.
And one of your officers, she wanted to see my ID. I told her I'd prefer not to. And
Actually, we do have the right to ask you for your ID because they call us here. It is a juvenile hall facility here, so we do have your authority. Okay, so if you're doing a story, yes, we do have that right, sir.
Okay, and I explained to your officer that unless I understand California law, I've been through this before.
Okay.
Unless you have reasonable suspicion that
We do have reasonable suspicions
that I've actually committed a crime.
No.
Hear me out, okay?
Okay.
Listen to her.
So we have people that do reconnaissance on police, on our juvenile hall facilities, jail facilities, people that
Right, okay.
gather information, take video surveillance, try to identify us, identify our vehicles, and do all that kind of stuff for malicious purposes, okay? And I'm not saying that's what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing out here. You're saying that you're doing this for a blog or whatever. So we're detaining you to figure out whether or not you're doing this for malicious purposes or completely innocent purposes. And if it's for completely innocent purposes, that's totally fine. But we do have the right to identify you, okay? And if we ID you and everything's good to go, then you're fine.
And I have a right to decline because I know the law. I know my right. I'm not trying to be confrontational or anything. But unless you have reasonable suspicion that I've actually committed a crime, I'm not required
So listen to the officer there.
to identify myself.
So the way a detention works, right? We don't have probable cause at this point. The reason we detain people is to investigate something to see whether or not a crime has been committed. So when we detain somebody, at that point we do not know whether or not a crime has been committed or not yet. Okay? It's during the detention we do our investigation to identify that person and find out why they're there doing what they're doing. And if no crime has been committed, there's no probable cause, and that person is free to go. But during a detention, that's when we do our investigation. At that point, the person is required to identify themselves by law. No crime has been committed that I can tell at this point. You're right. That's correct.
Okay.
But we still have the right to detain you and to identify you. Okay?
Okay, but what probable cause is there to suspect that I have committed a crime? I'm filming from a public
Sir, if there was
sidewalk.
probable cause, you would be in handcuffs already.
Right.
That's what she's trying to explain to you.
Okay.
It's
But we do
detention.
have, exactly, a detention just to investigate. And we didn't come out here on our own. They contacted us.
Yeah, you got to call for service.
Okay?
I understand
so,
that.
And if you know the law and everything, you know that part too, okay? And bottom line is, the officer's right, and we do have a job to do, obviously. Taxpayers pay us to do a job, and this is part of the job,
Okay.
okay? So all she's asking for identification, you know who we're talking to. She's not asking for too much,
Okay.
okay?
And I'm respectfully declining.
Okay, well, we do need an ID, sir.
Okay, well, I'm not going to provide identification. Like I said, I've been through this before. You know, I've been through similar situations.
We'll this way and start our camera too, so that way, I mean, everything's recorded, okay,
Okay.
sir? So, and what was the call? All right, this is what's going to happen.
Okay, sir.
Okay? We're going to stand around till you take care of your business, okay? And then whatever you need for your blog, do the filming here from here. And obviously that's private property over there.
Okay.
And then leave when you're ready, okay? But we're going to stand around here to make sure that the facility is safe.
Okay, that's
Because
perfectly
there are
fine.
kids in here, and that's our main concern here, kids. Okay? So we don't know what you're doing here, and we don't feel comfortable just leaving you here. So we are going to stick around, and then when you're done, then you can leave.
Actually, I'm already ready.
Well, then we can get
Yeah.
going then, okay?
Okay.
And everything will be documented. We're writing a report and everything, all the
Okay.
pictures and everything. So we have our own little information too. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So whenever you're ready, you can get out of here or
Okay.
whatever you're gonna do.
So I'm no longer being detained. I'm free to go.
You're free to go.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a bad angle.
Oh yeah, the glare.
Yeah, don't want to glare.
Okay.
And again, we're doing all this for the safety of the children in there.
Okay.
All righty.
All right.
Okay. So,
Okay.
to you now.
All right. Thank you.
Alrighty.
Have a good.
How we doing today?
Good, how are you? Well, who are you? Why don't you tell me that?
Who am I? I'm a good citizen.
Who are you? Who do you work for? What are you doing up here recording?
Well, it's my right as an American, as a free American. Am I breaking the law?
Sir, I'm asking you, have they asked you to leave from inside?
No, they haven't.
Okay.
They don't have any reason to ask me to leave.
Okay. Well, they can. They don't have
You
to have
think
a
so?
reason. They don't have to have a reason. Sir, outside. Sir, do you have your ID on you?
For what?
Do you have your ID on you?
For what?
Okay.
Am I committing a crime?
No, sir, but you are being placed on trespass.
I came in here to take some photographs for news purposes.
Yes, sir.
And nobody asked me to leave.
Okay.
This deputy doesn't know the law, and I'm hoping you do. This is owned by the federal government. This is federal property. United States Post Office. This is a public area. Inside is a public lobby. There is a poster 7 in here that gives the rules and regulations about photography and the conduct on postal property. I'll be glad to show it to you.
Okay.
And it allows me to do what I'm doing. Not only that, DHS memo came out that says photographs on all federal property, inside and outside in publicly accessible areas, is lawful activity.
Yes, sir.
And not to mention the First Amendment
Okay.
to the Constitution, and I'm here exercising my right to the First Amendment. And branch manager doesn't know her own rules and regulations, and she doesn't know the law.
Okay, so did they ask you to leave, sir?
No, they didn't.
They never asked you to
They
stop,
have
sir?
no reason to ask me to leave because I'm not breaking any of their rules or regulations.
Okay, but you do have the right to refuse your service, sir. Do you have any idea on you, sir? They do
No,
want you on
sir.
trespass
Okay.
location. You
Okay.
started the piece,
All
sir.
right.
You started a data or arbitration of business.
No,
that is a crime
there-
stalker line. That's called breach of peace.
Well,
I need your ID.
Lying to 911 is also against the law.
Yes, it is, sir. But I had to verify that from you. You saying you have video, so I'm asking to verify your part. You saying that they're lying about what they call disturbance. So are you able to give me your ID so I can do what I have to do, sir? I'm saying you're basically committing a crime, or breach of peace,
No, I'm
third
not.
peace. I'm telling you, that's where they're saying you're disturbing
Well,
peace,
they
sir.
can say whatever they want, but
Okay,
I'm not committing a crime.
I'm investigating that. I'm
Okay, I
detaining you for
understand
basically
that.
investigating that. So basically, I had a right to ask for your ID, and I'm asking for your ID for a breach of peace, sir. So I need
Okay.
your ID.
Okay, well, I did not commit a crime.
I'm telling you did. So basically,
How
I'm
do
saying
you know? You weren't even here.
disturbing peace. We have
You weren't
multiple
even
witnesses,
here.
sir. So basically, the branch manager,
Where's
you're
the
saying
witnesses?
that is right there, sir. They're verifying with that. You are disturbing peace,
She
sir.
doesn't know her rules and regulations,
I'm
and
telling
I'll
you,
be
sir.
glad to show you that.
I'm telling you, sir. I need your ID. You have your name. What's your name, sir?
Am I being threatened with arrest?
You're being detained, sir, for basically
Okay.
investigating for
You're
crime.
detained. I told you that.
Yeah, she
So
said, she
basically,
said-
I need your name. So what's your
Okay,
name?
being in detention in South Carolina does not require an ID.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm committed to suspecting you of a crime. Yes, it does, sir. I have the right to identify who you are. Yes,
So
you
you
are.
think this is a stop and ID state?
Sir, you about so.
Do you
Are you
understand?
refusing to identify
Can
who
I-
you are? Are
can
you
I get
refusing
your-
to identify who you are?
No,
sir?
I'm not.
I need your ID.
Can we get your supervisor out here?
No. This
Can
is
we
what
get a sergeant, please?
No, you're gonna. This is
Can
you're
we
gonna
get a
deal with me,
sergeant? 6 feet, sir.
Sir.
6 feet.
What's your name, sir? What's your last name? Last name, sir? Are you refusing to identify who you are?
This is not a
Are
stop
you
and
refusing, sir,
this
are
is
you
not.
refusing
I
to
am
identify
I
who you are, sir?
under threat of
Are
arrest.
you
I
refusing
will.
to- I'm saying, what's your last name, sir?
Are you going to arrest me if I don't show ID?
Sir, you are, like I told you, you are breaching peace right now, sir. You're disturbing peace. You receive a call about you. We have a complaint from the manager inside. You are disturbing peace. You're
I
disturbing
am not
the of this
disturbing the
business. Yes,
peace.
sir, you are.
I am not.
So if you don't refuse to identify who you are, yes, you probably will go to jail. I will give you for breach of peace, sir. So what's you going to do? How did you get here, sir? How did you get here? Did you drive here?
Is that important?
Yes, it is very important. Did you drive here, sir? You're being, sir, you're doing a whole lot of stuff for no reason at all. You did not think you did drive here, and basically you know in South Carolina you need an ID to operate a vehicle in South Carolina.
Am I operating a vehicle?
Sir, that's why you didn't want to ask customs, because you know you drove here.
Sir, I need a sergeant.
You know you drove here.
I need a sergeant here. I'm asking for your supervisor.
Sir,
can I get a sergeant here?
That's still not going to stop. Are you refusing to get who you are, sir?
I'm not refusing anything.
Yes, you are, sir. I asked you multiple times. You can rewind your camera back. I asked you multiple times. You're refusing to identify yourself.
Being detained does not require me to show an ID.
Yes, sir, it does. Yes, sir. You're investigating of a crime. Yes, sir, it does apply. You don't know your law, sir. You need to review your law. Yes, it does.
Can you state that statute?
Sir, no, you can go state statute, so you can look it up.
I looked it up.
It's no ignorance in law, so if you don't know, sir, you can go look it up.
Trespass does not apply to public property in South Carolina.
Sir, so they can refuse service. So basically
they can refuse service, okay, so, and I'll take it up with their higher
Okay, so I'm asking, you want your trespass, they can put your trespass. It also is a business. They can refuse, they can put your trespass.
This is not a business, this is government.
So, sir, is it not a business operation? Do you not transaction money? Is it not considered still business, sir?
They're owned by the federal government. They're not Walmart.
Okay,
so this is not private property.
They still refuse service. They still place people on trespass.
This is not private property. Is this a sergeant?
No, this is my captain.
Oh, hey. How you doing, Captain?
Hello.
Okay,
so basically they want more trespassing. I told him told him to stir the peace. I'm asking for his identification. I told him he's undertained. He refused to identify who he is to give identification, so they need to pay for trespass.
Captain, I'm not breaking any law. I came in here. I didn't disturb anybody. I came in here and I was recording the greeting cards, and I wasn't even aiming it at the employees or the customers at that time. And the branch manager came out and said, wanted to know who I was. She wouldn't identify herself. She wanted to know who I was with. I said I'm with myself, and she thought that the rules were on her door that said no photography. And I went and I looked and I said, man, there's no rules. There's a poster 7 in here that allows photographs for news purposes in entrances, lobbies, foyers, and corridors, and that's where I've been. I haven't been in any restricted areas. I am completely following the law, and I'm following post office rules and regulations. Can't trespass your eyes, you know, what you can see from public spaces. But I'm not here to get anybody's information. I'm not here to create a disturbance. I'm here to make sure these employees know their rules, and the Richland County deputies know the law, and these two don't know the law. They think this is a stop and ID state. Elders thinks you can trespass people from public property, and the trespassing statute that has been affirmed by the South Carolina Supreme Court says the trespassing statute is only for private property. This is not their living room. They don't own this building.
I understand. I know where you're coming from. I understand that part.
So they're trying to issue me a trespass. He's trying to arrest me for disorderly conduct. Breach of peace. And I'm not breaching any peace. I didn't even have a conversation with any customers. So there's no customer in here.
You haven't intercepted the flow of business.
Not at all. Not at all. In fact, they're not even that busy. They never asked me to leave either.
Okay.
They always started that when the elders walked in there.
It's closed, so they're asking you to leave the premises now that it's closed.
I'll accept that. But if you're going to try to issue me a trespass, that's going to be a violation of my civil rights.
So, sir, if you have a good lawyer, sir, you can sue, sir. If that's the violation of your rights, you can sue, sir.
Is that what you want me to do?
This is a public domain. You could be in the parking lot.
I would have left if she hadn't detained me. You know, because
she's not detaining you.
Okay.
Or at least not anymore. We'll discuss these points of law a little bit closer.
Yeah. It says the word till I go to the post office, where it is allowed. The Department of Homeland Security has put out a memo. It's allowed in public exterior and interior of publicly accessible areas. And the post office has a poster 7, which I tried to show Hardy. He didn't want to look at it, but it says news photographs for news purposes is allowed in entrances, lobbies, foyers, and corridors. I mean, but they don't know it. They think there's a sign on the door saying no photographs. So they need to be educated. And that's why I'm here.
It's funny because while I'm complaining now to the captain about his deputies that don't understand the trespass laws or ID laws of South Carolina, they're walking through the parking lot running plates trying to figure out my ID. So the captain says I'm free to go, and they do the drive of shame.
And just like that, another case of authority overreach is exposed. A simple act of recording in a public space turned into an unnecessary confrontation, all because some officers failed to understand the very laws they swore to uphold. This isn't just about one journalist or one location. It's about a pattern of intimidation used against the public. The lesson: knowledge is power. Your camera is your shield, and the Constitution is on your side. If you don't stand up today, tomorrow it might be you. What happens when a simple attempt to serve legal documents turns into a battle over rights, policies, and constitutional freedoms? In this case, a citizen walks into a public building only to be met with demands for identification, aggressive security, and even threats of trespass, all for exercising his First and Fourth Amendment rights. But who's really in the wrong here? Stay tuned, because this confrontation raises some serious questions about power, authority, and the rule of law.
How you doing today, officers?
This gentleman wants to go up to see Jan, talk to the town. He's got a log in his name, he's going to take the card. He doesn't want to relinquish his name, and he wants to go upstairs. And he keeps filming everything.
Yeah, so I'm filming everything because I'm a journalist. I'm gathering content for a story, so that's my First Amendment right. This is a public building. I'm not going to relinquish my name because I shouldn't have to relinquish my name. That's a violation of my Fourth Amendment rights to relinquish my name. This is a public building. I'm here to conduct official business. You guys already violated my rights yesterday. I'm here to serve a notice of intent to sue. That's all I'm trying to do, and I would have been out of here, in and out. That's it. I'm not breaking any laws. This is a public building. It doesn't matter. They can't refuse service to me.
Yes, they can, sir. Yes, they can. At the end of the day, it is a public building, but if they want to refuse service to me,
I just want to get your guys' name. Cantor 683, Santiago 685. Yeah, so guys, you know, this is, unfortunately you're wrong. This is a public building.
So what would you like us to do at this point?
I would just like to, I would like to conduct my business. I have business here. This is a public building. I don't have to give my name. There is no law saying I have to serve this paperwork, this legal document, onto the town clerk.
Okay, if the town clerk came down here, would you like to speak?
I mean, if she wants to come down here, that's fine.
That's an option?
Yeah, sure.
Would that be an option or no?
Sure. I was just trying to get in and out of here. I'm here to serve paperwork. That's it.
So, unfortunately, I don't have a say on what their rules and regulations are. That's up to the city. The city clearly has this in place. Visitors, if you'd like to sign in, you're more than welcome to. You can sign in. You can go do whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
But as far as
so you literally just said a name, right? So what's the issue?
There's no issue. I'm just trying to help you resolve it.
Okay, great. So you got what you believe is my name, and I'm trying to go upstairs to serve a legal document. That's it, and then I'm out of here. This is a public building. If I wanted to walk around here all day and record a notice of intent to sue, this is a legal document that I'm serving. No, you have to serve it on the town clerk. That's the way it works. I need to serve it to a Janice R. Geigler. I have a right to film here. You know what I mean? I do this all the time. You guys have no legal authority to stop me from filming. You have no legal authority to eject me from a public building. This is public. I'm not breaking any laws. That sign-in sheet is not law. So you guys aren't policy enforcement. You guys are law enforcement. So all I'm asking is to let me conduct my business in this public building that I have a right to be in and go about my day.
Again, if they don't want you here, you're gonna have to leave.
So I'm gonna be trespassed from town hall?
You will be, yes.
Are you telling me I'm trespassed as of now?
Trespass right this second.
Okay. Well, you let me know.
The way
okay.
it keeps on going, you can be trespassed. Yes, you can.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to do another one of these, man. Because you guys are. Can I request a supervisor, please? Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. You guys got a lot to learn over here, man. Seriously, I'm not trying to be an asshole to you guys. I'm not trying to be, I'm really not. All I'm really trying to do is stick up for my rights.
What's the whole issue? You just don't want to sign in?
Yeah, because, no, I'll catch you up. So it's the Fourth Amendment prevents searches and seizure. So I shouldn't have to relinquish that right to enter a public building. That's all I'm saying.
So at what point did someone search you or seize you?
No, that giving my name, yeah.
Giving your name is not being searched.
Yeah, it's you're seizing my name. You're forcing me. Yes, it does. Okay, it does.
Search and seizure. The Fourth Amendment applies to motor vehicle, housing, and your person as far as physically.
My personal identification, my personal information.
Not like that, no. So
it does, but
it does not.
Okay. Alrighty. I don't want to argue.
Somebody violating your Fourth Amendment right would be like me illegally searching your car, or me just busting in your house and illegally searching your house.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Fourth Amendment usually applies to.
Okay.
Again, this is their policy. That's what they want. That's up to them. When the supervisor comes, we'll make a decision as to what's going to go on, and we'll go from there. That's all.
Okay. That's great. That's great.
We're not trying to harass or anything like that.
No, no, no.
If this is City Hall. If you wanted to do something, you have to just obey the rules.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Like you said, it's their policy.
Yeah.
Right? You know, it's
But
not
just,
ours.
I understand what you're saying. But let me just say it like this. Maybe this will paint a better picture. So the way it works is that the Constitution of the United States is on top. Then it goes laws, statutes, and then policies and stuff like that. So if the Constitution says I have a right to be here, that can't stop me from coming in here. So that's my point. And like I said, you might disagree, but you know, I've done this enough times to know that what I'm saying is very, very true. And how you doing today, Sergeant? So basically, I'm here on official business. I'm here to serve the town clerk with a notice of intent to sue. The problem I'm having is, yeah, sure. I actually just left your PD, and I was just speaking to a sergeant with a really long name that I definitely forgot. Okay. But so basically, I'm here to serve a notice of intent to sue on the town clerk of Waterbury. Official business here.
Waterbury.
I mean, sorry, keep getting confused. Danbury, the Danbury town clerk, Janice R. Geigler. That's who I'm here to. I'm just letting you know. So basically, this gentleman, the security guard, said that unless I surrender my Fourth Amendment right of giving him my name, this is a public building. So unless I give him my name, I don't have access to this public building. You cannot permit me from entering a public building just because I won't give you my name. Guaranteed. So, you know, I do this all the time. I don't want to hem you guys up. I'm not trying to be an asshole. You know, he told me to turn off my camera. Again, I have a right to film in public buildings. So all I'm asking, this would have been done. I would have just went upstairs. My name is on here, and your officers seem to have a good inkling of what my name is. So
yeah, you could use that.
So, you know, it's just it seems like kind of petty.
The only thing I will tell you is I don't know if, I mean, they're handing out like these visitor passes.
Yeah, they can hand me that. That's fine.
Maybe he's got to put your name on it.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have to put my name on the pass. They want my name for like a logbook.
Can I just see your visitor pass? I thought that was her name.
No. So like I said,
why wouldn't he give you a visitor pass? Did you say?
No, he did. But then he did give me one. But then he said, "What's your name?" And when I said, "Hey, listen, it's not about. It's just the principle of it. This is what I do. I'm a constitutional activist.
Okay.
So you know, it's not about trying to be an asshole. My name is on all these documents I'm about to say. You know what I mean?
So did you hand in those documents?
I'm trying to go to the town clerk to hand them in, so I can get out of here. That's all I'm trying to do. And I'm being denied. Again, I'm gonna have to write another one of these up if you guys prevent me from going upstairs, because now I'm trying to just handle business in a public. This is a city hall.
I don't know what their protocol is here. Can I find that out before I do
Yeah.
it? They may have...
No. But what I'm saying is, I understand, and I hope you do get their protocol.
I'm just saying, if they say that you have to give the name to him, then what do we do?
So because what happens is,
but that's not us. That's this building.
Exactly. But
it's not a public library like you were in yesterday.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
It's a different type of public place.
No, but it's still public.
No, I understand
and it's open to the public.
I know that, but I'm saying maybe this is, since this is City Hall.
Well, you know what I would do, Sarge? You know what I really?
I don't know.
But you know what I really do? So the way I explain to the other officers is Constitution, laws, statutes, and then policies, right?
Up there. How's that?
No, and then wait, just so I think this would solve everything, and I explain this to the officers. So there's a corporate counsels here, right? I'm actually going to be serving them a copy too.
Yeah, I don't know if they're here now.
Yeah, but what? Or maybe they have a paralegal in there. I don't know. But maybe if you give them, those are the people that are going to be representing Danbury in lawsuits, and they know the law. So it would be wise if you guys said, "Hey, you know, this guy's over here saying that he doesn't have to give his name to conduct business in City Hall. Should we let him up?" And then that way.
Find out.
Yeah, exactly. But find out from a lawyer who knows what they're talking about.
Talk to whoever I have to talk to.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it probably should be the lawyer, because I'm sure that they're going to be smart enough to do that.
And if you want to just hang out, I'll be right back.
That's fine. Yeah, I know. But again, I was trespassed from the library yesterday. Again,
I understand that was
exactly. And I talked to a lieutenant yesterday. He was like, "I'm glad they didn't arrest you." You know, because this is what I. No, I'm just saying this is what I do.
I know it's what you do. I don't know why you're in Danbury, but yeah, I know.
Yeah. No, I'm just visiting.
Because you're a New York resident, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys know everything about me, so I don't know why I can't just go
I mean, that's
upstairs.
the first thing I'm dealing with here, but no, let me go, let me take a walk up there and I'll figure.
Great. So I really don't see the issue here.
Just hang out over here, man.
For
Hang out in the lobby until he gets to figure out whatever's got going on.
for what purpose?
Until we get everything situated, just stay out here with us.
Am I being detained?
No, I just want you to stay out here with us.
Okay.
Until we figure out what's going on and everything's settled, we're done, and then we can figure
Yeah,
out.
I'm just looking at these signs over here. That's all, man. That's all good.